10-year-old child with this blank, pale, emotionless face. Blackest eyes, the devil's eyes.
Such sights to show you. We'll tear your soul apart.
Hey everybody, it's Deborah Voorhees from Friday the 13th Part 5. I played Tina, garden shears through the eyes, boobs, that's me. Anyway, happy anniversary to Death Curse Society. You are watching the coolest podcast out there.
Just in the middle of a dream. I was kissing Valentino by a crystal blue Italian stream. But I can't be late, 'cause then I guess I just won't get paid. These are the days when you wish your bed was already made. It's just another manic Monday. It was Sunday, 'cause that's my fun day. I don't have to run day. It's just another manic Monday. I wish it was Sunday, 'cause that's my fun day. It's just another manic Monday.
Woo! Yeah, goodness.
That was
awesome.
I might do that every
It looks like Colonel got struck by lightning right when we started.
I was like, oh my God,
What
the
was
block
that?
got him.
So,
What
fellas,
was that?
I don't know. But I'm gonna do it every fucking time. One more time. I'm sorry.
Oh, did you do that? Oh, okay, yeah. Boom!
Damn.
Greatness has just entered the room, gentlemen.
Pow!
It isn't me. I don't know where it is.
Colonel's playing with his camera like he just got it. It's
I know.
he's like a
I've
kid in
only
a
had
candy
like
store.
3 years now.
That's pretty good. I'm just going to stick to this.
Already starting with that, huh?
Let's
Great.
get started. What
Great.
the hell?
Early.
Let's get it on. Oh, man. Guys, how was your weekend? I had one hell of a week. Ziggy?
We know you
me
have.
first? Yeah, man. It's been a great week. Getting ready for this. Got to see 13 Fanboy, which we will talk about tonight. Went to a haunted house, one of the big ones around here, which was really good. And actually took advantage of the speed pass when they said 4.5 hour wait. So yeah, but it was worth it. We walked. I mean, you fucking walk right to the front, and it was in. There were like 10 minutes tops. It wasn't even 1 minute, and we were fucking in there.
And all those cheap bastards that were waiting 4.5 hours, like, who are these assholes?
It was fucking raining. It was cold. It was just, it sucked. But I mean, the haunted house, really good, man. Like, I like these multi-million-dollar productions right in my hometown.
Nice. Colonel, how about you? How was your weekend?
Honestly, not too bad. Friday, watched 13 Fanboy, as we all know. I wouldn't be here to discuss it. Saturday, kind of unexpectedly, I decided, like, you know what? Let me see if I can go to this first Jason concert. It was awesome. There's 200 people max, I think.
Nice.
Spread out. And, like, I'm telling you, right, and I hate to say it, but as soon as we hit the stage, there's about 50 of us left because it was close to midnight. But I did show this off. They did have vendors there. It was weird. There was trying to do like a horror convention / concert for one night. And if I can get out of the plastic. I got this from a company called Allen's Art Images. You can find them on Facebook here. He had all kinds of prints of horror stuff, musicians, wrestlers, a bunch of really cool shit. But I was eyeing this for about an hour before I was like, you know what? I gotta fucking buy it. Tell me that doesn't look fucking sweet.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Now, what is that? Is that pencil, digital?
Well, I'm assuming digital, but I don't know because it's a fucking print. It looks digital.
All right.
But man,
Yes, Michael killed again.
I was like, is that the most beautiful Loomis picture I've seen here tonight?
Oh,
Come on.
In fact, it was.
It was.
There you go.
So I had to fucking buy it. And then Sunday, not too bad. Let's see here. I don't get a gloat too
Bengals
much.
won.
oh, for fuck's sake.
The Bengals, more than one, they whooped Baltimore's ass. First place in the division. And let me have it. Just don't shit on my parade today, people. If the season ended, the Bengals are the #1 seed in the AFC.
If it ended today.
Today. Meanwhile, over here in the great state of Michigan, the Detroit Lions traveled to the West Coast to take on their former quarterback, Matthew Stafford, and the LA Rams. And they pulled out 2 fake punts, a fake field goal, and converted on everything and still lost.
Why do I feel like
0-7, and the #1 pick is in our sights. If the season ended
why do I
today, we
feel
would
like-
be dead last.
Why do I feel like I'm going to have to add like a DCS Sports Update banner, for the beginning of this show every week?
You probably will
At
until
least-
football season's over.
Listen,
Yeah, at least until football season's over, yeah.
it's only funny because our teams are just historically awful. So, I mean,
Yeah, Oklahoma's NFL team has never won a game in the history of its existence. So, because it doesn't exist. That's right.
oh, wait.
Oh, wait. Looks like we got Stacy Lynn in the house. She's excited to actually be able to interact with us tonight.
Yeah.
Lorena's here. Luke is here. Kiara's here. Brian Peltier is here. Tommy Click's in the house. What up, Tommy? Okay, I love these two because I got these two right back to back. Patricia says, "Hey, everyone. I finally watched Halloween Kills. It's a flaming ball of doo-doo. Don't let Anthony Michael Hall lead anything ever again."
Here's the thing.
Hold
go
on,
ahead.
though.
Yep, go ahead.
Literally seconds later, Kiara chimed in, "Got around to watch Halloween Kills Friday. I loved it."
Now, my
That's
good
what the
friend
movie
Dave,
brings.
came over today, and he's the guy to help me film the unboxing of the Living Dead doll. He was the live cameraman. But he never saw Halloween, so he went, fuck it. He's like, I got 2 hours. I go, all right, let's do it. I saw it for the 3rd time today. I'm having the reverse effect that I did with 2018. The more I watch this Halloween Kills, I like it a little bit better. I do. I do. I'm telling you, like repeated viewings isn't hurting this like it did that last one. I can't really put my finger on it though.
Well,
I don't know.
Unfortunately, your score is set in stone, motherfucker. You're going to hold it next year.
I did say though, I will reserve final judgment of the series once we see Halloween ends.
Right.
Yes, but yes, I wasn't as annoyed by some of the shit that really pissed me off the first couple of viewings. So who knows?
I don't want to talk about Halloween Kills all night, but I got to touch on these. Patricia says the riots for Cabbage Patch Kids on Black Friday is way more entertaining than the riots in Halloween Kills.
I need a laugh button in here.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Luke kind of agrees the riot scene was absolutely stupid, but that was the point of it, to show how stupid people act when they react instead of using common sense and brain.
I think we all got what they were going for. The execution was, it almost needed a little bit more to it to make it more impactful instead of just up as the just giving the wrap up at the end there, and while everyone's getting taken out unceremoniously, just boop, you're dead, and of course, if you haven't seen it now,
no, it wasn't, man. It was the power of the fucking Hulkamaniacs bringing him back. He started fucking going. I was waiting for him to stand. This shit going awesome.
Michael Mania is not about to run all over you. No, that's not going to happen.
Good one.
All right. We got, thank you. We got FaZe in the house. Luke is trying to get us a drinking game started. Every time Evil Dies Tonight gets said, maybe we should take a shot later.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
I don't have any booze nearby right this second, or I would.
Would you accept a bong rip? Can I do a bong rip instead?
Carrie's in here. FaZe is in here. Orlando is here. Orlando says, my weekend was good. Saw 13 Fanboy, then to a gay bar.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
It's a night, man. It's all good.
I give that movie 2 snaps up and a twist. There's a reference for you. Luke won some money, but I don't want to talk about that right now. I got to throw this in there. James is cheering for you there, Colonel. Who dey? Ah, good. Yeah, BD Mags. That's what I'm saying, man. Sports show now. I need to throw up a bumper.
He knows. He's been firsthand, BD Mags, front row when the Lions have shit the bed. So I don't want to hear it, man. He's got a great story where he got up at a Green Bay. The winner is like the final game of the season. The winner gets home advantage for the playoffs, right? And the same team. You're playing the same team next week, except either there or here. We're winning. We just got to kill the clock. And somehow their number one receiver gets wide open for the winning touchdown to end the game, just as he's sitting down with his brand new Detroit Lions hat he was putting on his head, ripped the tags off. He was like, fuck, now I got to return this thing. But he knows. He knows firsthand the Lions' debauchery around here.
Yep. One last person so far that I noticed that's in the room. Mr. Tony Di Benedetto. Good evening, gentlemen. Good evening to you, Tony. Thanks for tuning in. I'm sure you're interested in what I have to say about 13 Fanboy, because I really didn't share anything with him yet. Not too much, anyway. Tony is one of the executive producers of 13 Fanboy. I happened to run into him in Oklahoma City when I went to the premiere down there at Harkins Theaters. And I wasn't quite sure who he was, but I heard his friend clap when a group of names came up. So after the movie was over, I just turned around and introduced myself, said hello. I was like, all right, which producer are you? Which one are you? I don't know who you are. And we got a quick interview with him outside of the theater for a few minutes, and then literally stood around and talked for another hour with him and his buddy Scott. Cool guys. He had to drive up from Houston, man, because it was the closest theater to see his own damn movie. I thought that was, cool that he actually did that. But, Tony, thanks for tuning in. It was a pleasure to meet you this weekend, and we'll see how the review comes along here in a minute. But first, before we get to any of that, you know what's up. It's time for the sales pitch. Thanks for watching Death Curse Society, everybody. Make sure to follow us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and, of course, Twitch. Don't forget to hit that bell on YouTube and subscribe. Not that bell, this bell. That's the one. I think my dance moves really sold that bell this time, too.
No.
I don't know. No? Okay. Make sure to visit our website also at deathcursesociety.com. You can catch up on everything that we got going on and new stuff that we got coming real soon. Make sure to slide on over at that top menu bar to the join page where you can become a member. It's a lot like Patreon. You can support us as a camp counselor, a crazy Ralph, and a final girler guy. And you know what? I'm going to say it real quick. You can also give gift memberships. Christmas is right around the corner. If you want to treat somebody to that, make sure you can do that. Because we have a gift membership that's being announced tonight. Stick around. Also, make sure to check out our store where all our t-shirts, face masks, hats, home decor, mugs, and all kinds of stuff are in there. And that also helps support the society. And then, what's next? Okay, that. You can also listen to us on your favorite podcast outlet, Spotify, Anchor. If you don't subscribe to Death Curse Society,
You're burning hell for this! You're burning hell!
No.
damn,
Wow,
That
that
was-
was really heavy this time.
that was a little more than I was expecting. But all right,
It's Halloween, you know.
fair enough, sure. While I am thinking about it, don't forget our store. We are doing a giveaway of a Danielle Harris autographed picture. She's just covered naked, head to toe in blood. I know. You're running out of time. We're giving this away next week, aren't we?
Yeah.
Damn, it is next week. Yeah.
Next Monday.
So everything you purchase in the store gets you entered into the drawing for this. Who knows, man? You might get a T-shirt and an autographed photo of Danielle Harris in the mail around the same time. That'd be pretty fucking cool if you ask me. Jesus. You're having way too much fun with us. While we're talking about members, let me give a special shout out to our final girls and guys. You may notice a couple of changes here. So, our final girls and guys are now Corey, Chris, Lorena, Christy, Luke. S. Michael has upgraded his membership to a final guy.
That's them.
And then Tanya and Tyrone, and our newest member, congratulations to Patricia. Someone bought this for you, Patricia, so I wanted to save it until tonight to announce it. But special gift to you. Sounded like you had been a little down in the dumps because of the Halloween season, but someone out there was thinking about you and treated you to a Final Girl membership. So I will be adding you to the Facebook group later on tonight. And there you go.
Nice.
That's
Very
them,
nice.
And
The
very
society is a generous society. And
It is,
fucking
and
cool. So fucking cool.
I love it. I love it for that. And also thanks to our Crazy Ralphs, Angelo and Peter, and our camp counselors, Stacy Lynn, Kiara, and Dave. Thanks to all of you guys for helping to support the society.
And you know, I haven't decided yet. We'll see what's going on, what's shaking Halloween night. But if I get done early like I did last year, I may jump on Facebook Live and just get on there. We can tell some classic Halloween stories, walking around trick-or-treating, favorite candy, whatever. We'll see. Just all you people that are stuck at home and shit, we'll get some Halloween spirit out of you one way or the other. So stick around for that. We'll see. That'll be next Sunday, Halloween night. We'll see.
You guys have fun.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying. You know,
I don't know. I didn't know anything about this. Who
I'm
knows?
just saying.
I'm saying, it's like, I'll get off early. I get out of work early. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to bed. Have fun.
No, I'm done with trick or treating. I'm going trick or treating with my kid at like 5. So I mean, I'm not working beyond that. Huh?
I got you.
Sorry.
Just
Very
saying.
nice. Very nice.
People that can't get out and do anything will have an outlet for them.
Yeah, we'll do something.
Yeah.
Patricia says, what? Aw, thank you for whoever got that for me. Patricia, thank you for being a viewer. And yeah, thank you to whoever it was that got that for you. I mean, I know who it is, but I ain't telling. So
Here's who it is. Tommy Click says, yes, it's me.
pretty sure it wasn't Tommy
Tommy.
Click. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, man,
It finally happened.
one of the, I think it was our most anticipated film, maybe slightly below Halloween Kills, maybe a little bit above, but in that same area. But 13 Fanboy dropped Friday night. And if you haven't seen it, we're going to try to keep a good majority of this spoiler free for as long as we can. But that is going to go out the window at some point. Hopefully we remember to make an announcement before we're like, and reveal something really telling. But we are going to try to keep it spoiler free because we know a lot of you haven't had a chance to see it. But let's start with initial thoughts. So, Ziggy, you want to take this one away?
The 13 Fanboy. Boy, oh boy, 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 boy. Yes. Finally, I am actually going to see it in theaters tomorrow, but I did buy the 48-hour rental, and I've watched it a couple of times. So, yes. What you can expect, a love letter to the Friday the 13th franchise and movies of that like? Absolutely. Is it perfect? No, but of course not. But let me tell you, what went into this, the work that they did, I mean, it's obvious. And the acting's on point. It's awesome seeing stars act as themselves and dealing with this shitty. And it gets fucking heavy at points, really heavy. I mean, I was surprised at some of the actual heaviness that came, but overall, man, it was well worth the fucking wait. 13 Fanboy is worth your time.
All right. Yeah, it's definitely a love letter to horror fans in general, especially old school horror fans. It feels new, but still retro, especially that first 2 or 3 scenes, 15, 20 minutes, feels so retro. And I'll get a little bit more into detail on that in a minute. But Colonel, what were your initial thoughts?
Like I said, man, we've been waiting for this movie a long time. And we finally got it. Unfortunately, I was a little disappointed I wasn't able to go see it in the theater this past weekend. Just life happens. Again, I was really disappointed because I knew I found S. Michael was going to the same theater I was going to go to, and I was like, "Oh, cool! I'm going to meet up with him," but it just wasn't going to happen. Like I said, it is a love letter to the classic slashers, and it was nice seeing a bunch of familiar faces in this movie. And I really dug the love to the fans in the film. Like, I love these, I love horror fans. Of course, there's a couple bad apples in every crowd, but overall, they spoke highly of the fans of the horror genre, and even the conventions.
Yeah.
Kind of against Zag on this one, though. I wouldn't say a lot of the acting was on point. Some were better than others, I'll say, but that's to be expected. I wasn't expecting. I wouldn't even say Halloween Kills. I'd say I wasn't expecting a Dr. Sleep. I wasn't expecting something like that. So it's about on par with what I expected. I was trying to keep it spoiler free as possible, so I'm going to stop.
I got you. You're good. All right. My initial thoughts, like I said, I agree with Ziggy. It's definitely a love letter. Colonel kind of said the same thing. It definitely has a lot of kind of ties to other, I shouldn't say ties to other films, but, with the actors portraying themselves was kind of a neat touch. But, man, it came off almost too much like a Scream movie to me. And that was one of the things that I didn't like. I mean, if you're a fan of Scream films, then you're going to dig it. But I wanted something a little more original, personally. I don't know why my voice got higher there for a second, but it did. But majority of the acting was good. I thought the sets, even though they weren't a whole lot of sets, I don't think. I think it was more practical locations, were great. Most of the cinematography was good. There were a couple of little minor things with the editing, just little nitpicks of mine. But overall, and there's one huge nitpick when it comes to the editing, or it may be a directing choice. I hope not, but I think it was the editing that just drives me up the wall. Hold on, Tommy. We understand. You love Friday the 13th Part 8. Somebody already mentioned we've done a Friday rankings, but we're not probably going to review Friday the 13th Part 8, and definitely not right now. So we see you. We see you.
13 Fanboy tonight, man.
Yeah, we're talking. We have topics. 13 Fanboy tonight. So, overall, it was fun as hell to watch, especially since we've been doing this and we've gotten to know some of the people that are in there, and just seeing them pop up from time to time just gave me a chuckle.
It was fucking weird, man. Wasn't that weird?
It's so weird,
God, man.
Yeah, even some of the just small bit parts, like the cameos.
Yeah.
I even call them cameos because
Yeah.
I mean we know them, and it was just strange, but it was a lot of fun. But there were a couple of things that I'm just kind of like, wait a minute, hold on. I mean, I need to overanalyze this again, but we're gonna get into that. We are gonna overanalyze it and then analyze it again, probably. So, Colonel Haley Greenbauer plays Kelsey Voorhees in this, a daughter to Deborah, and also a scream queen in her own right in this film. How did you like Haley Greenbauer's performance in this?
For me, she was probably one of the better performers in the movie. I thought she did a great job portraying all the emotions you have to portray in a horror film, especially for someone that's never done it before. Really, I mean, I thought she was phenomenal. And so she didn't, and she had a lot of scenes with Dee Wallace. Okay, Now, Dee to me stole the show, which I think most people wouldn't be surprised by that. But she held her own. With Dee, I was pretty impressed.
Granddaughter, yes, thank you, Carrie. Granddaughter, my bad. Yeah, I agree. I thought she did very good. There was one scene and maybe two scenes that didn't necessarily play completely right for me, but again, I'm nitpicking a little bit just because this is where it's hard to review some films, I think, because either we expect so much out of them, and then when it doesn't meet that, we get disappointed. Or, and I think this is the case for a lot of the reviews that are going around right now, the fact that we feel like Deborah's our friend, and a lot of the people that have seen it and have been raving about this film, they kind of feel like Deborah's their friend because they're in her Facebook group, or, she's commented to them, or hell, maybe she's talked to them on the phone. I don't, however much, or however much of a friend you think you are to her, or you guys are. You're going to boost that movie up, almost like when some Joe Schmo does a fan film, his friends get on the YouTube comments, it's just like, oh, this is the greatest movie ever. Is it really? No, but, for that point, you think that.
So just to add to your point, I mean, Deborah's great. We all know, Deborah's been on the show. She's awesome. And yeah, I'll be honest, my initial thoughts that I gave here were my initial thoughts about 2 hours after I watched the movie, because my initial thoughts were not good. Like, I really was like, oh, stop. Think about the budget. Think about I really had to stop myself because I did have kind of built a little high, and I was like, oh, no, settle down. I'm at a nice little even, honest medium here. Emotions are
right.
Okay. So you're right. I'm trying not to let anything play a role in that. So that's why I was like, shut up and think about it.
Same here.
So
same here. Now, as for Haley's performance, I thought she did great. Like I said, there were a couple of scenes that I was kind of nitpicking, and I probably shouldn't have been, but I was. But overall, I thought she held her own. And for the fact that the majority of this movie, 75% of this movie, is squarely on Haley's shoulders, is impressive that she was able to carry it out as much as she did. Now, you take that and you flip it to the movie we reviewed last week, Halloween Kills, where 60 to 70% of the movie is on Anthony Michael Hall's shoulders, and he couldn't carry that at all. It was like the Walmart bag, and you got two 2-liters in there, but they didn't double bag it. So as soon as you start walking up the stairs to your apartment, rip, dump, 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 dump. That's how Anthony Michael Hall handled that. I thought Haley Greenbauer double bagged that shit and carried it all the way through. Ziggy, your thoughts on Haley? My bad.
Yep. You thunder stealing prick. But
can that be the review of actors anymore? Did they double bag it?
Double bag it. It's funny because I was going to say she was given a lot to carry with this role, and she delivered. She pulled it off.
Right.
She did it right, and she was not. I know what Colonel's saying. Some of the, hey man, like C.J. Graham isn't the best actor. I can say it. I'll say it. He's not. After seeing him in a couple things, but seeing him at the cons though now too, I kind of get he's kind of like that. You know what I mean? So he's not too far off of who he really is.
He is, and
that's why I was okay with it. But I mean, he's actually got him and Kane both got heavy scenes in it, man. They're pretty good. So I mean, but I just dig the meta universe that they set this in. It's so cool how it goes like in and out of like the reality like that and everything. So
right.
and the duality of being in these fucking movies and then having to in real life how you're not as tough as you think unless you might be a cage fighter and stuff like that. But Haley, she did a fine job with it. She did what she was asked to do, which was carry that majority of the movie. And successfully, absolutely, 100%.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And one of her early feature roles. So if not her first major feature role, So
yeah, I've got I have no problem watching anything she might do just because she's got the chops. You can see she's got the chops. She's just good. She's doing the right thing with her path. So. Yeah. What do we got?
All right, let's. All right, let's get some of these comments. I think didn't realize what was going on here, but I must have missed that. Trying to get up to the top here. There we go. All right, Carrie says, with the budget they had, Fanboy was better than Kills. I can agree with that. Yeah. Well, I think Fanboy was better than Kills anyway, personally. Just my personal ranking.
I don't know. Like I said, I
didn't compare the two.
I mean, just based on what I think I'm going to rank this movie at the end of the night is higher than what I ranked Halloween Kills, definitely.
True.
Didn't I give Halloween Kills a 4?
You did.
Yeah. Fuck that movie. All right. Xavier Lane says, leave the Friday the 13th movies alone, please. This isn't a Friday the 13th movie, so I don't know what you're talking about. All these off-brand Jason movies are trash. Okay, well then.
That's an opinion. That's fine.
All right.
Cool. All of them? I mean, you can... I granted, there are a lot of trash amongst those, but dude, if you look through the trash, there's some fucking gems in there too, bro. I mean, you got to look at the Never Hike Alones, and those aren't trash. No, they're not at all.
Hatchet. Yeah.
Well, that's not really...
That could be an off-brand Jason movie.
Okay, well then, I guess you could throw The Burning and all that shit in there, right? Everything's a clone like that, then sure, for sure. But, hey, man, you know what? You're not wrong for disliking it at all. But, we're not going to sit here and just mindlessly trash it because, we actually watched it, so.
Right. Orlando says, score of 8.5 for me. Main cast and secondary cast both stood out. One of the things I didn't like, I cannot mention, but I just hope some gremlins don't trash the movie because of that. All right, so see, here's the thing I love. We got an 8.5 from Orlando, and Luke gives it 2 out of 5, which would, I guess, equal to a 4. So
I do
teach their own.
I believe the hype really got ramped up this last month before this movie came out. So I do expect some disappointed folks out there. You can't make everybody happy.
Sure. Luke also adds a Razzie Award nomination to C.J. Graham, Corey Feldman, and Kane Hodder. We're going to talk about performances here in a little bit. D. Wallace did a great job like usual, though. We are going to get into performances because I want to go through each of the main characters or actors in this and get an opinion about each one of them from you guys. All right, then we have Tommy Click's random thoughts on Jason Takes Manhattan. There we go. Stacy Lynn says, it definitely kept me wondering. Acting was all right, not bad. I didn't like how some things went down, but it was not bad. Yeah. Tommy Click says, 13 Fanboy is awesome, but there's a lot of death scenes like Halloween 2. There are a lot of death scenes in 13 Fanboy. Did you guys like the gore and the special effects that they did? Because it looked mostly practical.
Listen, I'll say just enough, just barely enough for me. I would have obviously liked to seen a lot more gore and maybe a little more up close stuff. You know, I mean, not necessarily Fulci or anything, but you know, there is enough in there. There is enough, but just enough. You know, I mean, it could have definitely used a little extra sprinkle here and there.
Right.
Colonel?
Yeah.
Colonel?
Yeah, obviously, you know, me and Zag are the fucking gore whores, and the three of us. So, of course, I'm with Zag. I would have liked to see more, but I wasn't disappointed in what I got. I
just
mean,
enough.
Spoiler alert for a second. I got to because we're talking about the gore. I won't say exactly when or where, but the broom handle was fucking glorious.
Yeah.
That was like...
That was good.
I think that was the money shot of the whole, all the things that happened in that movie like that.
Yeah, that one was really good. And again, I understand budgets and all that. So, because, you know, what Deborah did was this one. We see a lot in a lot of horror films. It happens, you see the aftermath. It happens, you see the aftermath, you know, just sitting there, blood just coming down the side of the head. I get that. So, could have liked more, like Zach said, more, a little closer look at it. But man, that, like I said, the broomstick, that took away any fucking minor complaints I had about the gore. That was fucking glorious.
I would say
that was a good one.
The acts of murder and violence were pretty terrifying and disturbing, for sure. What do you say to that? Would you agree, Colonel?
Sorry, was that again? I was reading the comment outside.
The actual acts of murder and some of the violent scenes, not necessarily the gore that we would have liked to see, but I mean the acts of it leading up to it, and it, you know, some of the actual depictions of it. You know what I mean? When it was going down, I thought were pretty violent and like, goddamn, disturbing.
I'm definitely with you, especially you know the first one really stuck out too. I was like, no,
right?
You know, it just and seeing the act of it, like I said, it was good. I mean, it satisfied my bloody need. I'll just say that.
Well, Colonel, I'm going to jump in here for a second because that first kill, and I'm not trying to spoil anything, but that first kill seemed to be one of those moments where it was a victim of the editing. It was almost like maybe something was wrong with the shot that they took and they didn't want to use it, so they cut it to where it's just like, oh, it's already happened, the kill. And there's not enough, there wasn't enough like anticipation of the kill getting ready to happen for that. And maybe it was a director choice, you know, just we want the shock of, oh, damn, that was quick. But it just felt like a victim of like short editing on my end. Colonel, would you agree?
I agree with you to an extent, but I kind of disagree with you too. To me, it didn't take that much away from it. I was still, you know, shocked for one. Like, it was like, this is early. I'm just
really
story.
Already.
But again, I hate to fucking do this. I need a prop here. Sorry.
Evil dies tonight.
Evil dies tonight. Evil dies tonight. So one of the worst editing jobs I've ever. Shut the fuck up. So one of the worst.
We're going to have to move that magic kitchen. Colonel has a couple of daughters, ladies and gentlemen.
He's going to throw that into the
window. She doesn't play the fucking thing anymore, man. So anyway, again, one of the cases of the worst editing I've seen in my life and made the fucking scene. I'm going to go back to a little film called Star Wars: A New Hope and the Tusken Raider. Like, this is the shittiest fucking edit you ever seen in your life. It didn't affect it.
Kind of remind you of this.
Yeah. We'd get shut down if we show it because Disney owns it now. But man, take that scene with.
All right, you exclusive members, watch your mailboxes. We'll get
That's going to happen. That's absolutely going to happen. All right. Let me get back to these. Luke says, my main gripe is the acting here. Okay, some of the acting I didn't mind. Some of it was a little iffy, but it was so atrocious at times it felt like an unintentional comedy. Many moments with the killer was so cringeworthy, I thought I was watching a scary movie. He had the voice of Christian Bale's Batman, so I had a few moments of laughter. I can 60% agree with you on that because the voice was a little bit too much in some respects, I thought. But I see what they were trying to do also. Mm-hmm. So that kind of made up for it. And you couldn't really just play the voice. You would have recognized it immediately.
That's the thing. And I thought when I first heard it, it was somebody else.
Ooh.
The second time I watched it, I went, "Oh, it's very obvious."
Yeah. But I think that's part of what it was going for. So I didn't necessarily. If I knew nobody in this movie, I would have probably hated the Christian Bale voice, but I knew why they did it that way.
Yeah.
So I got it.
I was almost even questioning, like, I think they had this other guy do some voice work. Like maybe he said some things, and they mixed it in,
Some of it maybe, but
at the second watch, I was clean. Yeah, I was pretty clean. I was like, okay.
When you listen to it, you can hear it.
Yeah.
I can't say anything else because I don't want to give it away.
Don't do it. Yeah.
I'm not. Luke says Deborah is awesome, very nice, and she's very talented, but she's not off limits here as a review goes, in my opinion.
And we would never do that to you guys who tune into this religiously. You know what I mean? And it doesn't matter. We've had these people on, yes, and they've been nice to us, but man, hey, if you deliver something, we got to be honest. We got to be honest. Right. We're nothing without that.
What have we told? What have we told Peter Anthony every time that he's been on the show?
I'm scared to death. I hope it's so good because I don't want my ass kicked.
That giant guy is going to show up in Detroit and just beat the fuck out of Zigzag.
I'm telling you. Oh shit.
Jason Bradford's in the house. What's up, Jason? Thanks for tuning in. Yes, and Jason, I agree. I know what you're saying. This is not a Jason movie. We know
it's a clone,
but
that's all.
Some people think it's a clone. Like the Xavier guy earlier. S. Michael says, my thing about bad acting is that it's pretty commonplace in horror films. Night of the Living Dead, or is that Smile for me? Acting is rarely much of a consideration for me when looking at horror, especially lower budget films.
Oh.
Whew.
If you guys watched that Blood Feast lately, you'll see some fucking horrible acting.
See, here's the thing. If you're in a film, I expect good acting. I just do. If you're in a low budget, like, indie film, I'll give you a little bit of stretch, but not much, man, because most of the time when I really, really, really rail on somebody's acting skills, I can go down the street about a mile and find an actor that could play that part twice as well and nail it. But that's my thing. So, what were you going to say, Ziggy?
I was going to say what we always say. The acting doesn't really have to be spectacular in some of these movies, but if you're going to lay dialogue on them that's going to direct this and drive this vehicle, and they can't handle the dialogue and deliver it properly, you're out, man. That's where you're going to lose every time. We don't have that here. She does a fine job carrying it, and the other half of the carrying is Dee Wallace. So, I mean, and she's great in this.
She is great, but there were a couple of scenes even I thought Dee was like just halfway there. And I'm not knocking it, but it was very obvious when it didn't work, especially with Dee. It was very obvious. That's just me though.
I felt like she was layering. She was letting herself be like the real life me in this. You know what I mean? She actually went there. That's what I took out of it anyway. So, go ahead, Colonel.
Yep.
Straighten us out.
This, but then we're going to move on to the next topic because I really want to get into the acting. And if we're going to do this, fuck it. We might, like Frank said, let's go fucking all in. I'm kind of with S. Michael a little bit on this. I don't mind bad acting in a horror film. Obviously, I like The Barn. I just expect it. I mean, nostalgia-wise, you know, a lot of these horror movies, the first time you seen them, you were younger, you didn't give a fuck about the acting. You followed the fucking story. Now, I'll be honest, I watched Friday the 13th, part 3 now. Fuck, that is such a bad acting movie. That is fucking terrible. It really took my joy out of that movie. But that's enough about that. Let's get a 13th Fanboy. I'm just going to say that little girl, probably need to give her a little bit more chocolate to pay attention to. I'm sorry. I was like, that one, I was like, I couldn't forget that.
Young Kelsey?
No.
Wait.
The other granddaughter. I don't want to spoil anything. Remember Deborah talking about give this girl some chocolate to get her to pay attention?
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Well, I think the chocolate worked opposite for her attention span.
That's a callback.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was young Kelsey, wasn't it?
No. That ain't going to spoil
Okay, never mind.
Dee Wallace's granddaughter. It doesn't spoil. I'm not saying
okay.
Yeah, she had her own family, remember? Because
okay, yeah. I know who you're talking about now.
Nice.
Yes. Okay, jeez. All right.
But she's
a fucking kid, whatever.
Right. Yeah, and kids I will give a little more slack to most of the time, but once you get into like teen years, you've got chops by then. If you have any natural acting ability, you've got it by then. All right, moving on to some more comments. S. Michael says, Crank, I'm biased as hell for many, many reasons, but my score has more to do with heart, creativity, and fun, including nostalgia. I give it a 9. I think they did the best they could with what they had, and they'll probably never admit to what the real amount was. Fair enough. And look, we're not here to knock anybody's score. We don't expect everyone to agree with ours. We're here to just discuss it. It's not necessarily a debate, because we're not going to try to prove one side's right over the other. No. We're just letting you know our opinions, and we want you to let us know your opinions.
For me, this is going to be placed among other films of this caliber and release, and it'll be scored accordingly.
Right. Luke says, while I agree with that, there were veteran horror actors, and I felt like they didn't take the script that serious. If that was the point, then they did a good job.
Well, a couple of these guys have done some other low-budget horror, and I'm not saying any fucking names. It's out there. You can all find it, and I think that proves that statement there, Luke. So I'm leaving it at that. I'm going to leave it at that.
Fair enough. Luke also says, all in all, I appreciate Deborah's efforts to make a movie for the fans, and I do respect that. She did a better job than I could ever do. So, round of applause, especially for those that loved it. Go ahead.
Yes.
I just wish some of the actors, actresses would have taken it more seriously because of the performances. It's just unbelievably awful. Ouch.
Unbelievably awful. I'm not going to go there. There were some bad moments, but man, there's so much worse out there and much bigger fucking budgets. Come on now. You're going to make me say it? I'm not going to say it. It's the film that can't be named. There's 2 of them, and the one is about precipitation. That one.
It's awfully foggy out there.
Ah, exactly.
All right. Well, before we go too far, John Shepard says, well, what do you say, kid? You want a shot at the title? That might be one of those scenes that's a little wonky.
No, I said, C.J. Graham, he's better in this than he was in Vengeance. I'll say that. Is that fair?
Yes.
Okay.
That is fair. All Jason Bradford. When the broom handle scene was filmed, Nora Hewitt had the air compressor so pumped that the blood hit the ceiling. I bet.
That's awesome.
Oh, I bet.
That was
a great scene, man.
That was good, man. That was one for the Gorehounds for sure.
All right. Tommy, Mike, and Jay will probably never agree to come on this show. I'm just saying. S. Michael says, I actually like Kane's scene, but some of the others bugged me. Yes. Then again, none of these actors are at the peak of their career. That's another point I was getting ready to make. I thought Judy Aronson was fucking gorgeous and stole her scenes. Feldman was good. CJ, comic relief. Again, just opinions. I definitely respect yours and don't entirely disagree.
Yeah.
That's another thing, man. Like, actors like Kane Hodder. This is the first time he's really done. I know he was.
No,
I know he's done other stuff unmasked, but
yeah,
I couldn't go too far there. I had to stop myself.
Yeah.
But the one scene that I'm talking about with Kane Hodder, he did fairly well, but I will say this: I thought that scene was just a touch too long, because after a couple of beats, the power kind of got drained out of it for me. Would you guys agree with that without spoilering too much, Colonel?
I don't know. If we're going to do this, I'd rather let's just go name, talk, go. Name, talk, go. Rapid fire.
I kind of am, just based on the comments, though.
See, for me, Kane, again, I mean, these people, far from their prime, if they ever really acted at all. So, but I just thought Kane was really terrible, except for one part. I thought he was great in that one part. A little long, yes. But it was so much better than everything else. I didn't mind it going a little bit long, because I think he deserved that little bit of a spotlight he got.
Oh, he definitely deserved a spotlight. I also think that scene could have been slightly written better, because it felt too clunky. It was just like he started topic A, and then there was no lead in to topic B. There was no segue at all. It was just, and topic A and topic B are kind of very different, and then it jumped to topic C, and you're like, wait, what? It just felt disconjointed a little bit for me. Ziggy, your thoughts on Kane?
It was great seeing Kane in this movie, just as part of the alumni, and what he does in it is, he's got a good heroic moment, and what transpires after, it's a little clunky, but I still thought he pulled it off, man. It almost got me, man, almost. So I mean,
he pulls it off, but
yeah,
I think it was a little too long and just written weakly.
I'm not going to say even written weakly, but I'll bit clunky, yes, but I think it fit. I do think it fit.
Okay.
Yeah.
S. Michael, since we're talking about Kane, says I actually like Kane's scene, but some of the others bug me. Oh, I already read that one, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yep. Well, fuck you, S. Michael. We're moving on. Luke says, to those that love it, awesome. I'm happy for you all. Deborah has a good eye for the camera. Agreed.
Yeah.
So I will be intrigued what she does next.
Yeah.
I just wish I could like it more, but I respect the hard work put in it.
Yes.
Jason says, it looked like Judy stepped out of 1984 to film 13 Fanboy. Ain't that the fucking truth? Jesus Christ.
She's got good genes or had really good work done, man. That's, yeah.
Damn it. Damn. Yeah. Colonel?
Dude, I can't top that. I mean, she looked great. Like, she didn't fucking age. I mean, she did, but Friday 13th, the Empire final chapter came out, 10 years ago? Because that's how old like she aged. It was like,
yeah, right.
She aged, but she aged in a way
that though, man. Not not she aged, yes, but it didn't look like she really aged much. I mean, I'll give her 10, 15 years tops.
Didn't look like 37.
About a 40-year-old movie almost.
Yeah.
Kudos to Judy. We'll get into that later, or not get into that. But we'll talk more about her later.
What's your secret? For secrets?
Is yours?
You got to make a pact with somebody to look that good.
Right. Kiara says, I'm excited to watch this now. John says, John, are you Tommy from Friday Part 5? He says, let's face the fact that this was a true accomplishment, getting all these former cast members from the franchise in one film and create something actually coherent. That's a good point.
Yeah.
But now, granted, a lot of them, or some of them, maybe not a lot of them, but some of them probably only filmed one day, maybe 2 days. And it was independent from a lot of, I mean, you didn't need a whole lot of other cast members to be with them. So,
considering everything that was working against this movie, it's a fantastic accomplishment for sure. I mean, and we've gone on. If you've seen anything else we've done, at least I have anyway, I've said here publicly, I love revisiting all these people and characters that have done these movies. This is fucking awesome. It's a great time to be a horror fan.
Right. Agreed. Somebody, Lorena's talking about Blood Feast. Blood Feast is a gem. If you're using a real sheep's tongue, you don't need good acting. God damn it. Thanks, Lorena. Put that away. All right, Peter's here. What's up, Peter?
What up, Peter?
How you doing?
Final countdown's getting close.
I know.
Yeah. We got to let me know what Lars says about those dates when you get a chance there, Peter. I think we're trying to lock that down. Luke says, sure, horror movies have bad acting. That's why some have that charm, but this just seemed very forced. At least convince me with your shitty acting. There is a charm to some horror movies with bad acting. Literally, I watched Evil Tombs recently. Holy shit. There is no good acting in that at all. So, yeah. But I expect more from some of these people.
Well, this is
as
still,
Michael says. Okay.
Yeah. It's an independent. You know, it's an independent. That's where you got to remember. You know, not you guys, everybody out there, you know.
But I still expect more.
Okay.
As Michael says, my 13-year-old non-horror kid went to see it with me in the theater and wants to see all the Friday movies now. Good. Granted, that's anecdotal, but I think a lot of horror dads can watch this with their kids and introduce them to some classics as well. That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah, it is a good, you know, it's got some heavy moments, but it's still not so heavy that you don't want to scar them. I gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Luke says, that's fair, Zigzag. You made some point earlier, I guess. Ziggy actually made a point? Wow.
I'm just talking, man. I don't even remember what I said.
It happens from time to time.
Even a broken clock is right twice a day, right?
All right. I was wondering if he was going to chime in on any of this, but Tony De Benedetto, executive producer, says, I actually enjoy these dialogues since it allows me to take a step back and look at things after being so close to the action and seeing other perspectives. I appreciate that, Tony. Again, overall, I enjoyed the film, but kind of our job tonight is to nitpick some of it a little bit, just a little bit. And, you know, I want to throw this back. Go ahead. Sorry.
I have no idea what you're going to score this, so I don't want to say too much. But I was going to say, you might all be pleasantly surprised with what we end up with numbers on this one. We'll see. Or be like, oh!
And we'll lose 18 viewers overnight.
Boom, gone.
Back to... Dang it. I got to scroll back up because I forgot what I was going to say. Yeah. S. Michael says, CJ's line may have been the evil dies tonight of the movie, but I counted it as goofy fun. There's a couple of things in this. Put that away. We're not doing that tonight. I don't have a weapon.
Tonight?
There are a couple of lines in this movie that I think were just intentionally done for fun, that being one of them. I'm pretty sure Well, you know what? No. Working in the nightclubs and casino world that CJ grew up in, I bet he did say that to some little punk-ass kid that gave him shit trying to get in the door and didn't have an ID or something. I wonder if he ever did say that. That might be a question for a panel sometime when we meet him, when we see him again.
Yeah. See, it was everything was Jason Lives at that point. You know, they were talking about Fanboy, but not any plot points.
Right. Troy Elke, I hope I said that name right, sir, says, as far as Kane's scene length, it was a joke. They were talking earlier about how he never gets to act and no one hires him to act. They only hire the man behind the mask. Then he has a long, drawn-out scene where he cries. Okay. I get that.
I get it, but that was also the point.
Yeah.
Right.
I never get hired for this. And then,
That part he pulled off, though. That honestly,
Yeah.
it felt genuine. That felt genuine to me.
That was a scene. That's one of the scenes where I think it was drawn out a little bit. But if that was the point, to kind of make a joke out of it, or not make a joke out of it, but kind of an inside joke that, you know, you never get to really see Kane act per se because you don't see his face in a lot of stuff. All right, that kind of makes sense. Good Lord.
that's so true nowadays.
Jeez, I thought we were close to the end of the comments,
Yeah,
but
it's
now
Just
it
rolling.
popped up. Yeah. Kane is great with body language. That's why we love him behind a suit. That's from Luke. And he also says Judy was looking dynamite. And S. Michael agrees. Judy, besides being a vampire, is also a Pilates guru. That must be it. I need to get into Pilates, I guess.
But it can't reverse the aging process.
No.
All right, fine.
Yeah. She clearly was bitten at least 20 years ago.
Orlando says, don't forget that sometimes a sequel can surpass the first one. If there is a positive result to 13 Fanboy, the sequel, if one is made, might surpass the first one.
I think they'll do it. I think they'll do it because I do think overall this is a success. You know, I mean, I haven't seen any numbers yet on box office or anything, or the weekend either. So, but I will look that up and see. That'll tell you right there what's going on.
Yeah, I haven't looked up any box office numbers yet. S. Michael says, Zag, this one's for you. In your honest opinion, who handled their old ass characters better, Halloween Kills or 13 Fanboy?
It's such a different comparison, you know, because the other ones are meta. They're playing themselves. The other ones are coming back almost as cameos of their glorious characters. Just based on the fact how they wiped out everybody at the end of Kills, I guess I got to say Fanboy on this one.
I would say Fanboy, personally.
I would say Fanboy because, you know, they're playing themselves. Acting was a lot better.
Yeah.
Sorry, I still can't get over Sheriff Brackett. Everybody was entitled to one good scare. Oh, yeah.
Bitch slap. Carrie says, I took as people were playing themselves, their acting would not be 100%, as Kane wasn't playing Jason and Dee wasn't playing the mom in E.T. It is what it is. Imagine a film crew following you for the day.
That's what I'm saying. I felt like Dee added a little bit of her everyday mannerisms to it a little bit. Just a layer, man. Just to go on the top of that. And that's what I took anyway. So I agree with you. Yes, sir.
Right. Patricia says, I wish the rest of the Breakfast Club was in Halloween Kills. Ali Sheedy taking on Michael would have been way cooler.
I smell a mashup in your future.
I like the idea of that. Yeah, and David mentions the same thing we've been trying to say. I like it wasn't just another Friday the 13th fan movie. It was its own movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is an independent feature. It's not a fan film. This is just made by some alumni and some big fans that got involved. That's all.
For example, if you took the Scream franchise and then went even more meta than that was, and we're looking at the characters of Neve Campbell as playing Cindy Prescott, that's what it would be. You know, I think. What? Okay, no. Peter says, did you guys see the Judy naked in the wrapped photo op she just did? My lord. No, but I might need to take a few moments for station identification and look that up.
I heard
Like
she-
right now.
I
We'll
heard
be
she
back right after these words.
this past weekend. I just didn't know it was nude. Like I figured she was going to be who was laying in a raft.
He says naked with quotes, so I'm sure she had something.
Well, you know, she's probably down, just in it, like, you know, fit stomach down, like she was in the when she got her death.
S. Michael says, I just became a final guy. Zag's going to do a special one for me soon.
Oh God, yes.
I think we all are.
We all agreed to do it. So if you guys
Yeah.
are going to welch out, we got to get on this. We will be doing a special look at the film Rockula, because for some reason, S. Michael, this is one of his obsessions, and I feel personally responsible and a little bit guilty after making him watch Boarding House. So this is like the olive branch. You know, we're going to take care of this for him. Some point.
Orlando, we're going to get back to you here in a minute, so stick around for that. But since we've been talking a little bit about acting and performances in the film, let's go. Deborah Voorhees, Colonel.
I thought she did fine for her role. Yeah, I'll just say that she wasn't in my top half of the acting. I'll say.
Really? She was on my top
She
half.
just came off a little. I don't even want to say forced. Her acting didn't do much for me.
A little stiff, maybe?
A little bit.
Okay. Ziggy?
I disagree. I think
I completely disagree.
That's
So
fine.
what
You guys disagree all you want.
for what she was asked to do, or what she asked herself to do in this role, was exactly what it was. And I thought she did it fine. Exactly what I would have expected from that.
Right. I agree. I thought, what we got from her was perfectly fine. It served the role, it moved the story forward, and it was performed mostly well. Yeah, Deborah did great. How about Dee Wallace? Ziggy.
She's good. And again, I don't really, like I said, I feel like she added some of her own everyday real life. The non-actress Dee Wallace was in there. It was there. So I thought she was great. She had to carry a sizable chunk of this movie as well, and she absolutely delivered.
Okay.
Yeah.
Colonel.
Wait, we're still talking about Deborra?
No, back on. We're on D.
Oh,
Dee
Dee Wallace.
Sorry. I'm super tired, so I'm not good tonight. I already said earlier, Dee stole the fucking show from me, but I would expect Dee Wallace to steal the show in this.
Yeah.
Her and Haley fucking killed it.
Okay, I'll give away my. We talked about Haley already, and but I will give away my nitpicking on the editing when they were doing the FaceTime phone call between Haley and Dee Wallace, and it cuts to that shot of just the FaceTime phone, and it's black on the edges. You guys know how particular I am when you guys do something. And I'm like, oh, you didn't pay any attention to the aspect ratio, huh? There's black bars on the side or up top and bottom. And that pisses me off. Yeah, that pissed me off. Because, A, there's other ways to do that. Either do it with the, overlay the image over the phone and show the hand. They did a shot of that. Don't show the scene with Dee at all. Or not like that, at least. Show reactions from Haley. Show reactions from that creepy guy. Like, maybe he's trying to look over her shoulder to see who she's talking to, something. But don't do that. That was the bitch I had about the main bitch I had about the editing. Anyway, I digress. Dee, I thought, did great. There were one or two moments that I thought she kind of phoned in, if for lack of a better word, but I thought she did great. Okay, this one I'm worried about. Corey Feldman, Colonel. The one guy that was actually playing a character.
he played a great fucking sleazeball, I guess. Again, it's Corey Feldman, so I got exactly acting-wise, I got exactly what I wanted. He's very Harvey Weinstein-ish, I guess. I know he's supposed to be comic relief, but I just didn't find his character funny. I mean, I found him sleazy, which is what I was supposed to feel about him. I just didn't find him funny. Sorry.
Oof. Ziggy?
Trying to think and choose my words carefully here because I feel like he was there for a couple of reasons.
Mm-hmm.
And
yes.
It's great seeing him again, and he, you know, he gets in and does what he has to do, and God damn it, I'll say it. I'm just gonna say it. He's one of your possible suspects. Okay, that's one way I can put it. That's safe. He's a red herring, a possible red herring. Okay, but he's good that way. He does the sleazeball. Harvey Weinstein's very good, Colonel. But yes, he's there to throw you off the scent of what the fuck is going on, and he does this well. So yes, I did like him in this.
I disagree. He did not think he was a suspect at all, even when we were led to believe he might be. I'm like,
I'm just saying that's why he was there. I'm not saying, you know what I mean? You're just saying you're not buying it, you know, right?
No, I didn't buy it at all.
Okay, all right. He disagrees.
I hate to say this because I'm not a huge Corey Feldman fan, but he was one of my favorite characters in the goddamn movie. Maybe it is because he was just playing this rotten sleazeball producer, and he overplays it. But for this movie, it works. It works that he overplays it, and I like that. I like that a lot.
I did love when he was at the booth at the con and just going, "Hey, let me get a picture real quick." She's like, "Hey, that's $50." Like, fine.
It's $35, but come on, you know.
Still, it was good. It was a good little.
Yeah,
that was some good relief, you know.
It was, and that's the other point I was going to make. It made for good comic relief. Anytime he showed up, it was just like, okay, we can relax. The tension is not as high right now, you know. Nothing too terrible was about to happen as long as he's on screen. I didn't think. So, somebody already mentioned it. Lar Park Lincoln, Ziggy.
You know, she's not in it much, but I think what she contributed to it mattered because, you know, our star, you know, is looking for. She's supposed to be the booth next to her at the con, and she's not there yet. You know, she's like, "Oh yeah, right. I'm running late. I'm on my way." Literally talks to her before all shit goes south. Right. And however, I didn't like the door scene with her. I thought that was a bit too. I don't like my killers that way.
Where we get the backstory.
Yeah, but I mean that ain't the way I want the backstory like that. You know, they made it seem like, you know, she was going to be the psychologist on his ass and get, you know, what she needed to escape or you know what I mean, talk him out of it, confuse him somehow. But I mean, it just, I don't know. I didn't like that. That was like the one thing I really didn't dig too much about this particular movie, and it was, you know, bar and there's a door involved. That's all I'll say. You'll know when you see it.
All right. How about you, Colonel? Lar Park Lincoln's performance.
I thought her performance was great. She did a fantastic job. Even the door scene, I really enjoyed that Zag seemed to hate. I mean, for me, her scene, the only part I didn't like was the effects on the live stream. It's real cheesy, but that literally did nothing to take away from her performance. I thought she absolutely fucking killed it for what she was asked to do and what little screen time she had.
Right. I really enjoyed Lar Park's performance. She was one of those that had to go through a gamut of emotions kind of what seemed like very quickly. like I mentioned earlier, it seemed like some of these characters or some of these actors they only brought in for one day to do the scenes. Hers was probably one of those, and she had to go from, calmly just packing a bag, getting ready to go, to everything that she had to go through for the rest of her scenes. And I thought she did great. I thought she pulled it off.
She's a pro.
On the reverse side of that, let's talk about Tracy Savage. And I'm going to start because I thought she was the exact polar opposite of Laura Park Lincoln in this respect. And I did not believe Tracy Savage in a lot of her performance, except for teaching in front of the class. Anything after that, that was one of the few actresses that just did not work for me at all. Colonel, how about you?
I agree with you. I mean, I was like, But then again, we'll throw back to her role in Friday the 13th Part 3. She wasn't much better in that. She was better, but not much. It can't say I was shocked, but you're right. She was definitely one of the weaker of the alumni. It just didn't work for me at all.
Okay. Ziggy?
I have to agree with you guys on this one. I don't feel like she had much to work with, and just they got probably what they needed and moved right the fuck on quick. But it isn't too. It's not. There's nothing standout about it. She fills her role. She does what she needs to do. Yes.
No. Not trying to interrupt. I was only thinking about the initial scene. I didn't think about towards the end of the movie. There's two Tracys in this movie for me.
Not the post thing.
Okay. All right, we'll go on.
Because that doesn't count.
Fair enough. Go on. Sorry.
Well, she. Yeah, I know what you're getting at, but that's revealing quite a bit if we start getting into that whole thing. So.
All righty. Judy Aronson. Ziggy.
Wow. You guys nailed it. Vampire, bitter, 25, 30 years ago. She looks great. Pilates expert, somebody said. Who cares? She looks great. She's good in this, and it's believable when they're all together, they're drinking and partying and stuff. It's like, hey, just nice seeing them all together and everything. And she still got it. I would like to see her do more in the horror, man. I mean, why the fuck not? You still got it. You still look great. Fuck. Let's go. You're wasting time. The candle's burning.
She's making money with her photos and the Pilates stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
What about you, Colonel?
Dude, I don't want to say too much because, like I said, I don't want to do any spoilers.
Yeah.
She did a hell of a job. Not gonna lie. She really did. Like, you guys thought Corey Feldman was funny. No, there was one scene I thought was absolutely fucking hilarious. I was going to reenact without saying anything.
Okay. Yep.
I was like,
All right. I cannot really say much about Judy Aronson's character without giving anything away. Because there's a part at the very beginning that spoiled majority of the movie for me. And it's odd, but I thought her performance started good and then just kind of like crawled down towards the end. So before she was, in her scenes at least that she's in. That's just me. I may get into it a little bit more later. We talked about Haley already. What about... how about Jennifer Banco, who was opposite Kane Hodder? Colonel?
Nah. That's really all. Nah.
Slightly below average for me on her. I was not impressed. Ziggy?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, and she had to, they had to work together on Kane's big scene too.
Mm-hmm.
She wasn't, not too good as far as what she had to do. I don't know. I thought she could have did a little bit more with it. Maybe they could have. I don't know what would have added to it. Maybe her being a little more emotional with it. You know what I mean? But
Well, in parts of it, I thought she was a little over pushing, and like it was weird because some of it she was underselling it, and then some of it she was overselling it, and there was never a good middle ground for her character.
yeah, we never found the harmony
Right.
between the two.
Yeah, there's just definitely no chemistry there.
There was a little bit.
I didn't feel the chemistry. I believe Kane Hodder as a father figure, but like I said, her, I was just meh.
Yeah, I agree. Sorry, I keep getting thrown off a little bit. Yeah. That was one of the weaker performances for me though. I want to bring up one more actress, and then we'll get into some of the men in the movie. Because believe it or not, guys, I know we've been talking about actresses most of this time, but there are actors and men in this movie too. But last but not least, on the women, Deborah Sullivan as Detective Evans. Ziggy.
Yeah, I mean, very strong, and her character. You know what I mean? So it's coming in and doing. Which, I usually expect big strapping lad in that role, that kind of thing. But yeah, I thought she's good. I thought she was good. Yeah.
I mean, it's not a huge role, but I thought she played it well and pulled it off.
And it was believable. She was tough. It was believable.
Yeah. How about you, Colonel?
Me saying this is not an insult. I was only leave with that because people might say it. I would say Deborah Sullivan played a great Deborah Sullivan role. She nailed it. Deborah Sullivan was Deborah Sullivan. Like, it's not a bad thing. I mean, she came in, she did her job, well.
Right.
Most of the stuff I see her act in, I have that same feeling. She's not bad. Like, it's...
Yeah. I guess that's a good point. I mean, there's not at least in my experience with seeing her act, there's not a wide range there. You're pretty much down the middle, and that's what you get from her. But it's always a solid middle. So I get that. How about Ron Sloane as Ron Sloane, but Dee Wallace's husband, Colonel?
Oh, I've been waiting to talk about this one. Yeah, I want to say at first I was like, man, I really don't like his acting in this. I really don't. By the end of the film, I was like, damn it, Ron, I need to be a better husband. So he fucking hit it out of the ballpark. Ron Sloane, man. Oh, my God. Like, I couldn't have enjoyed his performance more by the end. By the end. I was just I'm so excited for him personally. I don't even know. I was just like, oh, my God. Junior did it. Like.
I hadn't thought about it in those terms, Colonel, but God damn it. Yeah, you're absolutely right. At first, I wasn't digging it, but yeah, near the end, I was just like, that's good.
Well, they got me. Yeah, they got me right away with the little Friday 5 throwback with Ethel and Junior at the con.
Oh, that was beautiful. Yeah. That was beautiful.
So I was already, enamored with liking them both. So, I mean, so when he got into it as Dee's, husband, I was like, oh, okay. And then, yeah, when he was like, you're on your own, I was like, you dick. It was actually,
right.
I say too much, but yeah. But yeah, I literally had that moment. I was just thinking it, man. I looked at him. It's like, Ron,
You dick.
Sorry.
There were moments, yeah.
Had to stall for school.
All righty. Then how about Vincent DeSante as the producer and director of some sleazy, what was it called? Snuffed Out, I
Yeah,
think.
snuffed out or yeah.
Ziggy?
It's funny. It's a different side of Vince, and it's almost like you kind of a dick, if you didn't know him, because it just shows me he's a good actor, as well as all the other talents this motherfucker has. So I mean, he was great. He was great.
Well, maybe he is a dick though. We don't know him much
Well,
outside of this.
Has he ever been a dick to us here? Never.
Not
Yeah.
all.
On or off the air.
But, if we were working with him, I could see maybe there'd be
I'm
some
just
dick
saying,
moves or dick moments.
it was definitely a different side of Vince that we got to see, So I mean, I was absolutely, I think he did great with this.
All right.
But it made you go like, God, damn, man.
Colonel, how about you? Yeah.
Hold on. I want to see if I can read this while I'm thinking. I thought I did a well enough job. Obviously, he's not a seasoned actor. But I found him believable. Even knowing that, it's like you said, as far as we know, Vincent isn't like that. And every interaction we had with him has been great.
Mm-hmm.
But watching 13 Fanboy, I don't ever use my Twitter at all. But I felt the need to say this. Watching 13 Fanboy, couldn't help but chuckle at the apparent cougar slayer himself, Vincent DeSanti. So, yeah, I thought he did a fine job with his skills. Like, I couldn't help it.
Honestly, I don't think that was a whole lot of acting in that part, but not based on some conversations we've had.
True. I was thinking the same thing, but no, he did. He did a great job. Again, I don't believe him being sleazy, but in this meta world, he pulled sleazy off.
Right. I really, when he first appears at the convention, that was such a fun moment. I probably chuckled way too loud than I should have at that point in the theater. But it was just a fun little pop up for him.
I'm saying it was just too weird just seeing all these people we've been interacting with the past 6-8 months, and here they all are on this fucking movie. It's just like
right.
So
and he pulls off his character fairly well. There's some moments that he pulls it off fairly well. I'll just leave it at that. Finally, the guy with probably the most screen time in the film, I would say, Drew Lady as Chris, who is Kelsey's boyfriend. Ziggy, I think.
I mean, it's good seeing him in a different role than Kyle, So I mean, and he's got some different. Again, same thing with like Vincent, different side, than what you're used to seeing in Never Hike Alone, and but he's good. He does his job in this. What he needed to do, he does, and it's delivered. And I had no problem with anything he did.
Yeah. How about you, Colonel?
I thought he did a well enough job with what he was asked to do. I hate to break it to him. I did not hate his character as much as he led us to believe last week.
Yeah.
And I was even trying to hate him.
I kept waiting for that moment where it was like, what's going to do it? What's going to make me go, oh, and it just, wait a minute.
Yeah, like I said, it just never happened. I would say, semi-spoiler alert, that one I did believe way more than Corey Feldman. I didn't buy Corey Feldman. That one, it was a little too obvious at the end of the movie. Like, okay, they made that very obvious.
Mm-hmm.
But
right,
it had me thinking. I was like, could it be? I don't think. What?
Right.
There is a few. There's suspects. There's more than one suspect in this all through the story. So I mean, they'll keep you guessing.
Right. Okay. Drew's character, I didn't really like. He knows that Kelsey has grown up, having witnessed her grandmother's death. He knows this. Yet, he still tries to sneak up on her in the shower in the first scene that he sees, that he's seen it. And granted, gets whacked, pop, she plays a MMA fighter. So she's going to defend herself. The next scene, he gets whacked again. But then he's taken 2 punches to the face, basically, and, he says something along the lines of, well, babe, as long as I'm around, nothing's ever going to happen to you. And that's such a kind of an alpha male line. He's talking to an MMA fighter. That's like if I walked up to, Brock Lesnar or somebody and was just like, hey, this is kind of a rough neighborhood. Just follow me. I'll take care of you. I can help you here, or something like that.
Brock Lesnar.
I don't know. I couldn't
couldn't
think of anybody off the top of my head. That was the first thing that came to my mind. I was going to do that Irish asshole, but I couldn't even think of his name.
Conor McGregor.
Yeah, that dickhead. I was going to say that, but I couldn't think of his name because I don't watch that shit. But yeah, it felt like almost too macho in a world that doesn't really have a whole lot of macho in it anymore. It just felt weird to me, and I didn't like that. And then some of the other things he did, where he fangirls out on D, we appreciate that as fans because that's what the fuck we do. We always have that moment, but
I say, don't make me play the D. Wallace or the Daniel Harris tape.
right?
Yeah, but you have to think though. That scene didn't bother me so much because if this is his first time meeting D, he's such a fan, he's going to fan out a little bit.
Sure.
It was a little rude to be like, hey, well, if you wouldn't mind, but
I
don't know.
Let me get back up to some of these. And Orlando, remind me to get back to this, but Orlando asked, what are your opinions on the mask? We're going to get back to that. But I want to hit some of the actors' comments. Luke says, I thought Deborah did fine. S. Michael says, Deborah seemed really proud of her death scene. It reminded me of the half dozen times they showed Sauron's death in Lord of the Rings. That said, her acting was great.
Yeah, her death scene was great. She did great acting in that. Just for me, prior to that, I was like, man.
Right. S. Michael says, D. Wallace played traumatized super well. Most of the time, yes. There were a couple of moments, though, that I thought was just too much in some ways. Luke agrees. The editing drove me nuts. Yeah. Sometimes, yeah. There were a couple of moments.
It was always a black fade out to black every time. There were no cuts directly to anything. It was always a fade out and fade in.
And they could have done. I thought they could have done more of the music on some of the editing. It didn't really mesh as well as I would have liked it. But God, I don't want to read this, but I'm going to have to. As Michael says, the sexploitation with Haley made me feel a little guilty after watching her in Barney's musical Castle. My daughter actually said the words "ooh, bouncy" during one scene.
See, I felt dirty with those scenes just talking to her a couple times, man. Like I didn't feel right. I was like,
I expected.
Come on. She's working.
Right. I expected a little bit. I didn't necessarily expect as much. There seemed to be, and there's not really a lot, but it's all right there at the beginning. I mean, they lay the TNA out right there. Like, get it out of the way and let's move on. And that's one of those moments. The shower scene with her is the one I was talking about earlier, where it felt new, but it also felt so retro because the shots.
these are
We're
slasher tropes. These are slasher
Yes.
tropes. You have to do
It
this.
was shot so perfect though. You know,
Yeah.
you had the moment from the back where she's taking her top off and then the panties slide down her legs to her feet
Yes,
and she kicks
yes.
them off to the side. It was the perfect like retro throwback moment.
At least it wasn't
So-
the rust-colored silk crap that they had in part 2. You know what I mean? There was nice panties, at least, for fuck's sake.
That's true. I mean, you can't
Fair
beat
enough.
the classic white.
Dude, I'm just saying, man. That is something. If they're making a fucking slasher and they're obviously throwing it back to the '80s on stuff and style, yes, you got to do stuff like this for this.
No,
You
no,
have
I
to.
completely agree. Like I said, just
Right.
knowing her. This is the one thing in the review where it is personal. I just felt weird seeing her in that way. I was like,
Oh, after talking, yeah, I remember going. I was kind of thinking, oh wow, this is a different side of Haley.
See, I did not.
She's a professional. She's
I
working,
enjoyed it.
man. Yeah, she's working. She's working. I didn't
Exactly.
even.
She's doing a job. Like I said, you expect TNA in these movies. So
I don't mind. I don't mind the sexploitation at all because I haven't seen Barney's Magic Castle. So now I
Yeah.
know. Don't
neither
watch
have I,
that.
but still.
I enjoyed it per se.
She's probably 7 years
Luke
old. back then,
says-
sick fucks.
Maybe I am. Maybe I am. Luke says I did like Laura. I thought she did decent.
She did do decent. I just didn't like the scene they put her in with the door. That's all. She acted fine. I'm not attacking her acting at all.
Right. You just didn't like that. You
I
don't
didn't
like
like-
those kind of scenes.
Didn't like that kind of connection.
I got you. S. Michael says, I appreciated Feldman's presence, but felt it was a bit of a misstep not having him as himself. It would have been so much funnier to have him dancing and saying stupid Corey Feldman shit.
I agree with S. Michael on that.
I guess if we had seen it that way, sure, maybe. But I thought what he did was absolutely fine.
I'll tell you guys a private joke that went through my head just now, but I'm not doing it right now because we could probably lose half our viewers right now. Luke says, I wish there would have been kills in the movie that would have been throwbacks. Like I was hoping Corey Feldman got the Jumbo Cleaver treatment from part 4. Or the Jimbo Cleaver treatment from part 4. Okay, yeah. I like the fact that they didn't necessarily do throwbacks and they did originals. If they would have tried to, like, if Deborah herself would have gotten garden shears again, that would have been kind of cool. And
I was wondering about that myself.
if, but Jennifer Banco didn't die in her role in Friday the 13th. Neither did Laura. So some of these characters would be hard to do. And then when are you going to stick Judy Aronson out in a raft to recreate that role in this movie? So I would have liked to have seen one or two of those, but I don't think you could have done it with all the actors.
Let's be fair. Didn't we just see enough of these style of tributes and Halloween Kills? Like the car scene and stuff like that. I mean, very much, I think you're walking a line with that. You're walking a real thin line with that. And staying original in 13 Fanboy's case, the much better choice.
S. Michael, your next comment, I'm going to skip because I think it's a little too spoilery. And we haven't gotten to the spoiler part yet. But yes, I loved me some Lar as well, and I appreciated her scenes. And I'll leave it at that. Luke says, you'd think if you were an obsessed psychotic fan, you might want to play with the obsession with the kills in the franchise. I think that would have been really cool.
Excellent point. Excellent point.
Yeah. But, and this is another question I want to get into here in a minute. Was the killer really an obsessed fan, or was he playing a part? Think about that. As Michael says, Tracy was best at the ending, I thought. Everyone should know by now. There is a post-credit scene. It does feature Tracy Savage. It's not part of the plot. It's not part of the storyline of the movie. That was a great moment, though. I completely agree. Colonel, yes?
Yeah, but that's not the scene I was thinking of when I said, well, there's two different Tracys. The post-credit scene was funny, though.
Okay, I got you. Luke says, I'm in agreement about Tracy Savage. Diana Barrows, blah, blah, blah. S. Michael says, Judy Anderson, be still my heart. Is there any doubt that Vincent DeSanti is now the ultimate fanboy?
I'm sure he is.
He does bag the Judy in the film. I don't know.
Spoiler alert, that was my whole cougar slayer.
Yeah.
That shit was funny though, and she was just like, "All right, get the fuck out of here."
Right. Hey, there's this asshole that's going to be calling you.
That was a good scene, man.
That was a good scene.
I'm saying, I can't wait to talk to Vince again. I really can't.
Oh, no shit.
I've got so much shit to give him now. And
no shit. S. Michael says, I found Miss Banco more believable as a dear friend of Kane than as a victim. I didn't find her necessarily that believable in either role that way. She just did not do it for me at all. But we already talked about that. Luke says, this could be like Zigzag and Halloween Kills with me. I tend to like it more after another viewing or two. Also says, Deborah Sullivan, quick cameo, but she did a good job. I especially love her in Secret Santa. Yeah, she was really fun in Secret Santa. Yeah. Ron Sloane from S. Michael says, Ron Sloane really impressed me. His character, not so much. Right. Yeah, his character was kind of a dumbass. But okay, Carrie's back. She had to reboot. Tony, I think, is talking about Vincent. Yes.
Yeah, we were saying
he is a really nice guy. Right.
Yep.
Luke says, parts of the script, not spoiling, reminds me of Scream 3. And that was one of the things I mentioned at the very beginning. This whole movie kind of has a Scream type vibe to it. You know, you got the whodunit aspect of it. You got the stalking aspect of it.
Now, did you guys... I actually found myself thinking of another franchise during a scene as well. Once everything was revealed, kind of going with Saw.
Yeah.
You see where I'm going with that?
Yeah.
But I mean, the Scream is way more prevalent than the Saw.
Right. And we can't really get into it too much, but yes, I do know what you're talking about.
Okay.
I think, anyway.
You guys.
S. Michael says, Vincent was outstanding. Death Curse Society should definitely be in 13 Fangirl. Now, see, there's a petition I could get behind.
Yeah, right.
You know, because I'll admit, I kind of, Drum Dums was in there. Dead Meat James was in there.
McRae
Friday
Live.
13th Network was in there.
McRae
McRae
Live.
wasn't in there.
You didn't see McRae Live when it was it says it was a text. It says McRae Live when it's showing one of the videos.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. All right.
So there you go.
Yeah. Maybe Death Curse Society could be in that. You hear that, Tony?
Tony, Deborah.
Tony, Deborah, Carrie?
Yeah, man. We'll work cheap.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Spring Schultz. Lade? Spring. We'll just call you Spring for now. Vincent was really great to work with on this film. Oh, is this Slash or something that's on Twitter? Maybe? I'm not sure, but now I think I'm putting two and two together. Tommy Click says, gotta go, guys. Love you. Have a good night, Tommy.
Happy Halloween, buddy.
Hey, Tommy.
Woo! Luke says, Vincent has great potential. I will look forward to any work he does from here on out. And S. Michael says, Drew has a bright future in this industry. Luke says, my ranking went up just a tad bit. It's on my TV right now. Listening to all the points here, I'm kind of seeing it differently.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. After watching it twice, and then tomorrow will be a third time, I'm kind of wishing this show would have been tomorrow. But it's okay.
Right.
Have that third.
Peter, I will get back to you, sir.
Ah.
Thank you. Hell, why not? Peter says we're going to be featuring Laura Park Lincoln on November 8th. So there's some. You get the news as soon as we get it.
Yeah. Red blood. No.
Roseblood.
Roseblood. Why do I say red blood all the time? Roseblood.
God
Damn it. See, this dude's going to kill me if we ever run into him. I'm telling you, man.
Okay, yeah. I see what you're saying, Luke. I don't mean everyone, but if I was a fanboy killer, I'd try to recreate a favorite kill if I was an obsessed nut job. I get that. I agree now.
I think our killer is very precise and very brutal, though. He's all about killing, and he goes for it. So, I mean...
Yeah.
Again, like I said, broom handle.
Yeah.
That was great. Yeah. Orlando says, I think I know what joke you're talking about, Red Crank, and I had the same thought before the movie was in theaters. Yep. You probably do. Patricia, I have to get going. Have a good night, all. Patricia, good night.
Yeah, Patricia.
Good night. Woo!
Chris says, you guys have me pretty excited for this. Criticisms aside, I've been looking forward to this film for a while. Yeah, enjoy it, man. I think you'll enjoy it.
Worth your time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Luke says...
You still muted yourself, man.
Mute.
You got to unmute yourself.
Got it. Luke says, don't listen to me, FaZe. I can be a negative Nancy at times. It's all about your perspective. Have fun with it. I just called you a negative Nancy, Luke. Like right before the show. We were chatting before the show. And then, yep, Luke agrees. Maybe Death Curse Society and the 13 Fanboy sequel. There we go. Tony says, I'll have my secretary call your secretary. Score.
Yes. That'll be fun.
Thank you, Tony.
Still, even the backing, we can help with that.
Yeah, we'll definitely be involved in any kind of Indiegogo deal next time. Colonel got in on that, though, I think.
Well, for 13 Fanboy, yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, found like government name in the credits.
To be fair,
I saw that.
I was like,
to be fair, we weren't really a thing.
No,
as
we weren't.
Death Curse Society at that point when this came together. So it's been that long.
Does it make as much sense to you as it does to me that Adam Marcus was a creative consultant on this? Well, I mean, Adam Marcus and Deborah have been friends for years. So I think she reached out to as many alum as she could and, got, perspective from all of them. So, yeah, it absolutely makes sense.
Mm.
Vincent's in the house. We're not doing spoilers, sir. But he says, "Remember when I said you guys should wait until after the film to do my interview?" Yes, sir.
We do.
Vincent, you dirty dog, you.
We haven't ruined anything about nothing yet. So
nope. Nope. Tony,
you were excellent, though. Well done, Vincent.
Yeah.
Well done.
We just covered everyone's acting performances, and you were closer to the top this time. Tony says Spring was the great horse handler. Okay, so that the pitchfork. Okay. Faye says, haha, I've been on and off the stream. I missed whatever you said about it, but I'll catch it later. That's one of my favorite aspects of these streams. Everyone has varying opinions and aren't afraid to share them.
No.
Uh-oh. Peter says Zigzag is now off the interview.
Well, that's not violence anyway, so no. Like I said, I'm a Lar fan from the Knots Landing days, so we can talk some shit on that for fuck's sake.
There you go.
Well, you guys can. I have no clue.
Yeah, you guys can. Okay, let's get into the killer without revealing who it is necessarily, but the killer's mask. Orlando asked about this quite a while ago, and we're finally getting to it, but we had to cover all the acting and perspective. Did you guys like the killer's mask, look, aesthetic altogether? Neither of you look ready to answer this question because you're both looking over here at something, and I don't know what.
No, I'm just thinking, but I'm ready.
All right. Ziggy, we'll start with you then.
I dug the mask. I thought the mask it's off-putting. It's creepy. I mean, there's been a million slashers with a million different masks, and the way they dressed this particular killer up, you'd shit yourself a little bit if he was coming your way. I mean, absolutely, 100%. So I think they made a good choice with that particular mask and the dress, the clothing he's wearing. It's good.
Mm-hmm.
You can't really pinpoint who the fuck it is.
Yeah, it does kind of help, disguise body shape, height, gender, race. Yeah. It helps hide all that. So the mask was different, but I didn't mind it. And I'm glad they didn't go the route of doing some kind of hockey mask at all. Which, I mean, I knew they weren't based on the poster and trailer and everything. But, when we first thought about the idea of a 13 fanboy, I remember thinking to myself, if this killer is wearing some kind of hockey mask, that's going to be kind of cheesy. Now, there may have been some, or a sack, yeah. There may have been some legalities where they couldn't do any kind of hockey mask. I'm not quite sure. But,
well, good. That was a good choice.
But I do like the fact that Vincent has one on in the convention scene. I think that's great when his character shows up. Colonel, how about you? What did you think of the aesthetic of the killer's outfit and design?
I thought the killer looked great. I'm with Zeg. There's been so many mask killers. There's only so many original ideas you can have left for a mask. Which I think they did a great job coming up with an original concept for that mask. I would say it wasn't somewhat spoiler alert. When it was on the killer, I thought it looked great. When you see it by itself, that's when I was like, I don't know if I really like it. But that's okay, because I didn't need to like it then. It wasn't in action. So, like I said, it was good. I wouldn't say I loved it, but I definitely didn't hate it.
Okay. I like this. Luke says the killer is Gilbert Gottfried.
Oh my gosh, that's the voice they should have used for the killer. I'm kind of with you guys though. The voice alone makes sense to change. I still didn't really care for the.
Like, you had to change it, but Gilbert Gottfried would have been a little bit too weird to have as the killer.
I don't know, it's no weirder than fucking Donald Duck. I've heard
worse. Listen, and when they remake the New York Ripper, Gottfried can be the voice. So that okay.
After he kills him, he'd be like, hack. I don't know if he can't do it anymore, but.
Yes.
There's a sponsorship moment right there. S. Michael says the mask plays an important part in the whodunit aspect. Of course it does, Yeah.
Well, yeah. Yep. That's couldn't have said it better.
And Luke, I know you were making that reference. I thought the killer was great. The voice threw me off a little bit at first. I will say this, and Ziggy kind of mentioned the scene before, the long exposition and backstory of the killer seemed a little drawn out and maybe not unnecessary, but just drawn out.
No, I actually, they give it to you in the trailer that say what set him up this way, and I don't have a problem with what they did. It's just what are you doing with the victim? Like that. That's what I didn't like. I don't know. Just didn't.
But they explain why they did it with the victim that way. Because it shows something she said on the internet.
Right.
And careful what you wish for. You know what I mean? It's not like she was wishing for it or wanting it by any means, but that's why I didn't mind the scene, and I thought Laura was fucking great in it.
But then he doesn't do that with any other kill.
Just felt like it was kind of out there.
Put it out there, I know he didn't. That poor fucking janitor just listening to fucking First Jason, just doing his fucking job. Do you think he put on the other? Man, my biggest fear is getting a fucking broom handle shoved through my fucking head. You think
I doubt
on Twitter?
I really doubt that guy has put that out on social media, though.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, but the other actors and actresses that got killed, I mean, it's not like he did those kills that were the same as their respective fears. So, I don't know. That kind of felt a little out of place. I do kind of feel with Ziggy on that a little bit, but I liked that scene in a way, but it just felt slightly out of place.
I'm just saying that just putting it in the file of the organizing this, how it went down, it felt out of place for me. That's just that one part of it. It's like, what is this?
I want to say something else about it. Maybe it doesn't feel so out of place. Because I'm sure we'll get to the point where we discussed what snuffed out was.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it could have been a green room if you catch my drift.
Okay. I got you. Possibly. Yeah. All right. Let's not go there, though.
I know. That's why I had to stop.
All right. Luke says a perfect mask would be a mold of your own face and wearing that to kill people. I'll go you one further, Luke. I think I've always thought this about the mask killer would be fucking weird, would be the mold of the person who their target is. Like if I was going to kill Zigzag and I was wearing a Zigzag mask, I always thought that would be fucking terrifying as like a slasher. And they have a different face every time they kill.
With that shit, your own face coming to kill you could possibly be the most terrifying thing ever said here tonight.
As a matter of fact, it was.
You guys are way off. Well, that's a good one. But
I've just always thought that would be a fascinating slasher. So, Tony, if you're still listening, let's talk. I'll work on a script.
Yeah, not a Zigzag mask though.
No, definitely not a Zigzag mask. Luke says, "Oh, that's a good one." Yeah, psychologically fuck with the victim. Yeah, exactly. All right.
Wow.
I don't want to mess with. Oh God damn it! S. Michael says, Billy Zane mask. Hashtag Billy Zane is a twat. That's for Carrie.
Yes, Luke, you have
You know how
to.
expensive that'd be to make a Billy Zane mask? You know how many fucking pocket pussies you'd have to buy and glue on your fucking face before you go out?
Actually, you could. I would say just go get one of those. What was that guy? Tor, the bald-headed guy with the, that famous mask from the Ed Wood movies.
Oh yeah.
Just get one of them big shower dildos with the suction cup on it, right on his forehead. Billy Zane.
I wasn't ready for what you said, Colonel, but this one's for you.
Thank you.
Oh, good Lord. All right. Do we want to even get into spoilers, or do we want to just kind of talk about what we like, what we felt about the ending? Because there's a part of me that doesn't want to spoil this yet.
Well, we
at
made
all.
almost through the whole show without doing such, so
I'll leave it to you guys.
Yeah,
I mean, do we want to dissect the end that deeply, or do we want to just kind of be like, do we like the end and rank it?
Let's do that, because we rarely come through a whole show without not fucking it up at all, any of the surprises. So,
Does that sound good to you, Colonel?
Yeah, because time-wise, that sounds fan-fucking-tastic. If we try to...
it's another 40 minutes unless we go any further.
Right. We did get asked not to do any spoilers by, I think it was Troy, was kind of alluding to the fact that he didn't want spoilers. So, I agree. I think this movie, next week, maybe we'll be able to talk more about it if people wanted to ask questions about it.
Yeah.
Then, but
you got questions next week for sure. Yeah.
Or if you've seen it, you can maybe ask in the in our members only message group. If you guys are parts of that, we'll talk about it there.
Hit the Facebook page. It's fine. We can direct message and stuff to keep it off the main web. It's fine.
Yeah. But what did you guys feel about the ending and how this might lead into a sequel, Colonel?
I wouldn't say
I have
hated
questions.
it.
Yeah.
It. The more I thought about it, the better it was. When the killer's revealed, I was like, Then I was like, well,
Really?
it's actually not bad though. I mean, if you really think about it, and once you,
I did.
it's. I mean, it's definitely better than Halloween Kills in me. I'll say that.
Oh, God.
By
That
far.
other little twist at the end, I was shocked, and then I was like, why am I shocked? This is given away like
In the first 15 minutes.
pretty fucking early.
Yeah.
But it was still good, especially seeing that character change. And then that's when, then like I said, that's when the killer is revealed and everything. It really makes sense. And I was like, okay, I'm okay with this ending. Yeah. Without giving too much away.
Right. I know it's hard. Carrie threw the hashtag up there. We already said it.
Thank you, Carrie.
Luke says, I was mad though when he took his mask off and it was Gilbert Gottfried.
Oh,
Fuck.
you ruined it.
The mask reveal was interesting. I was 60%, and I was 70% sure of who it was. I'll put it that way. I was pretty sure I knew who it was. Because of earlier scenes. And then the twist that you're talking about, yeah. There's a scene that
Oh, it's
pretty
like,
much
what the fuck?
no, there's yeah, I'm like 15 minutes into the movie, I'm just like, God damn it, well, you just gave me the ending. I that told me a couple of things about this ending that I was like, okay, I got you. Yeah, I know where this is going. I didn't know who exactly it was necessarily, but I knew, if that makes sense. But I was still satisfied with the ending. I thought it was still clever enough for today's audience. You know, some people are going to see it a mile away, some people aren't. And that's just the way film audiences are anymore. You know, some people go in trying to figure it out, and then other people just take the ride. So, cool. I'm definitely interested to see where they go with it for a sequel, though, because Deborah's already said they've got an idea.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Yeah, we
if
asked
the
her if
movie
she
does
had
well.
more alumni lined up to, and she said, we've got some things in mind, you know, right. So,
Yeah. Yeah. If more people go and see it, maybe we'll get another one.
You know, I think I like the ending. I have questions. Is our killer dead? I don't know.
Unsure.
I don't know. But I did. The reveals are cool, and then there's one that, like the twist, the big twist. You know, it will make you go, oh, or like, whoa. You know, I mean, but it's a much better ending than Halloween Kills. That I can say 100%.
Absolutely. The twist will make you flash back to the scene I'm talking about at the beginning of the movie and go, okay, I see why they held on that for a little bit longer than it seemed they should have.
Yeah.
I get it now.
Yeah. I know what you mean, and you're right. Everything's right there if you're just paying attention.
If you're paying attention, you're like the first time I tried to show my dad The Usual Suspects, you know, Kevin Spacey gimpily walks into the screen and my dad just goes, oh, there you go. I'm like, what? And he's like, that guy's a killer. I'm like, what the fuck? Dad? I stopped the movie. I threw the remote at him. I was like, what the fuck? But my dad was always like that. He would see like through all the writing gimmicks and everything and be able to pull that stuff out. He's still racist as fuck, but that's a whole different story. Luke says the ending was okay, but agree, better than the ending of Halloween Kills. S. Michael says, I enjoyed the ending, but didn't find it to necessarily be conducive to a direct sequel. Oh, I disagree. I disagree. I think it could. I think it flows right in.
Just based on the last act of what we saw before the credits hit, that yes, there's all kinds of fucking shit to clean up. So for sure. I think there
That
is.
last act, that last act is a little bit. It leaves a lot of questions, like you mentioned. I have questions, and we can't really get into the questions. I think I know what you're talking about, but we can't get into it without spoiling too much. So I don't really want to do that. But Orlando says ending left me a little confused, and I was in the film. Yeah.
Oh no, I think I got a grasp on what happened, but I'm just, that's where we gotta say that's where the Scream thing comes. I mean, it's just, depending which film you're watching in the Scream series, there's some definite similarities there.
Right. Luke says, how about that janitor guy? They didn't do more with him like I think they could have, in my opinion. But, he's really only in like one scene, really, isn't he?
2.
Is it 2?
Yeah.
Okay.
And, again, he's there for he's there. He's there for what he needs to be there for.
Absolutely. Carrie says, well, it was Deborah's first film, and she did well with what she had. Well, it wasn't her first. Hold on, though. It wasn't her first film. Bill Shakespeare was her first feature film. I think that's the name of it.
Directing.
Like that. It's a play on William Shakespeare. I do know that.
There's nothing wrong with it.
No, I'm not knocking what she did. I thought she did a great job.
Oh, yeah.
It's, but there are nitpicks like we're all going to have, I order a burger from a fast food place. I'm going to be annoyed if there are pickles on it when I ask for no pickles,
No pickles.
This comment brings up something I want to talk about. Luke says, of course, I'm just an armchair critic. She did a lot better than I could do, and I'll admit it. Now, that's one of the things I've been irritated about with when people, especially the people that have disliked Halloween Kills. One of the common things that people have said in response to that are, well, I don't see any movie you've written, and let's see how you could do. And I'm like, it's not even about that, man. People can be armchair critics. People can be armchair quarterbacks. People can be, backseat drivers. That's kind of the curse of the world we're in now.
Well,
but
you're putting out a product. Go ahead.
Right. Well, I'm just saying the fact that, maybe we haven't had a film produced, and I don't see you doing any better, and blah, 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 blah. That's the stupidest, dumbest fucking response that I can see.
It's a schoolyard kind of response. Yeah, schoolyard response. I mean, it's really, there's no foundation to it, obviously that, but when you put something out there in the public and people are paying money for it, they have a right to say whatever the fuck they want, and regardless. If you don't think you loved it, let's say my friend Dave loved Halloween Kills. He's like, I'm fucking 8. I give it a fucking 8, man. And I was like, okay. I go, you're on that side of it. But this one is all over the spectrum, and people are in the middle. They're on this side, great. This side, it sucked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We're going to get that in every film that's out there.
Well, yeah. Shit. I mean, you guys are nailing it. It's just human nature to critique.
Yeah.
You're telling me when people first seen fucking, like Wizard of Oz out. I don't know. People are critics. People criticize everything. You guys both got great points. It's just nature. I like what I like. I don't like what I don't like. And if someone asks my opinion, I'll give you my honest opinion.
Those Munchkins were unbelievable in The Wizard of Oz, by the way. I did not believe the Munchkins in The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, no, not at all. Those weren't. Yeah.
I'm saying, like, The Barn is a masterpiece and Midsummer is trash. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Right?
Fuck you.
Now, I did try to get some information about The Barn, too, from Dr. Rock himself.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah?
I didn't get much. He just wanted to talk about the movie because he was on it.
All right.
I get the post show points, but we're not talking about the barn too.
No,
Not
the
yet.
hell we are.
Not
no,
yet.
no.
have to be
but yeah, I hate that argument. She did a lot better than I could do. Blah blah blah. Not necessarily coming from you, Luke. I'm talking about when you're berating somebody online about, well, let's see you do better. You know, I hate that shit.
I've seen that with band talk, bands, and anything in art like that. Just some asshole going, "Well, I don't see your stuff." You know, that
right.
Childish, empty response.
And I've said this before. I will say it again. We know when or if we ever do release some kind of either fan film or original film or short or whatever, when we do something like that, or if we do something like that, we know we're going to get critiqued by, I know the Vengeance guys are just waiting for us to release something so that, let's talk about that Red Cranks acting. You know, I know it's coming. So I get it. But yeah, anyway, I digress.
We reap what we sow.
Exactly. And
like you said, you put something out there for public viewing.
Right.
You're up for criticism.
I'm more than willing to take that chance.
Yeah, we're thick enough. We've heard worse from much better people.
Right. All right. S. Michael says, I've asked the ending questions a lot after watching it 3 times now. I would not like to see the Halloween 4 or Resurrection style contrivances to make the ending work out for a direct sequel. Style choice stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think it can be done without those kind of choices. Personally, there's a way. Tony De Benedetto says, I thought CJ's handler was awesome. Man, he was sexy, I think. I mean, he was just a sexy man. And I'm not even gay. I just think he was a sexy looking man. Luke says, I'm not in the movie making business. Watching behind the scenes footage, it's hard work. I can't understand how it works. Yeah. There's a lot to it, man. It takes a village to make a fucking movie. Literally. That brings up something else I want to talk about here in a minute. Luke says, I am a critic, and I will say my peace of mind, but I also understand, too, that it's called a business for a reason. It can't not be stressful. Something like that.
Yep.
Orlando says, if a sequel is made, extend the horror alumni beyond Friday the 13th and Halloween. I think it could, but I also think, the fact that it did have Friday the 13th and Dee from Rob Zombie's Halloween as the characters, basically, I think it could open the door to possibly featuring Danielle Harrison the next one.
Yeah.
In a way.
Smart. That'd be smart.
You know? Just a thought.
And guess what? She can act. We know fucking she can act. So
yeah. Luke says, but movies deserve to get criticized for good and bad. That's just how it is. Yep. Oh shit. What the hell was All the Boys Love Mandy Lane? I will never get that time back. Oh, you watched that? Oh, sorry. Didn't we warn you? I thought we had talked about that movie a while back.
Did we? That's sad if we did. I don't remember.
Maybe we watched it and went like, I ain't talking about that garbage.
Luke says, oh, I get your point. If you can dish it, you got to be able to take it. Yeah, absolutely. Good God. S. Michael says, next time on Colonel's Crypt, 13-inch fanboy.
Damn right.
Orlando says, zigzag, I forgot to salute Michael Myers next to you and let him know evil dies tonight.
Evil dies tonight.
Take another shot. I don't have anything to drink.
Ready?
And Stacy Lynn says, all right, this mama teacher has to go to get ready for bed. DCS, thank you for a good Monday talk. Always, fellas, have a good night. You too, Stacy. Thank you for tuning in. And, guys, we got to rank it.
Oh.
So, Let's give this movie 13 Fanboy a number. I'm starting with Colonel.
Zigzag.
I'm starting with Zigzag. I'm starting
Wait,
with
you
Zigzag.
said Colonel.
No, I had something in my throat. Excuse me. Zigzag.
As I said at the very beginning, it's not the perfect film, but it doesn't have to be. It's entertaining, and it's great seeing this kind of environment. The meta thing really works in this whole thing. You'll be surprised a couple of times, guaranteed. The gore, just enough. And overall, I think this is a fine, much better than a lot of the horror that we've seen the past couple of years been coming out, for sure. No question. I'm going to give 13 Fanboy a solid 7.
All right. Stacy Lynn says that's her rank, too. 7 out of 10, by the way, before she takes off. Colonel, you ready now?
I think I'm ready. I was ready before. I just didn't want to go first. 13 Fanboy, like I stated. First, literally since I got done watching the movie, I was pretty disappointed. But then I also stopped. My personal hype for this movie died down and really look at it. Again, like we've all said, there's no such thing as there's a small handful of perfect movies. This one is not one of those. And that's fine because a lot of movies aren't perfect. One thing that bugged me, and this has nothing to do with this movie, it's just the way it is. I just really hate this high definition cameras people are using anymore, where it looks like you're watching it take place through like a window, like it's so fucking clear.
Yeah.
I really thought a little bit of graininess to this film would have went a long way.
Yeah, the sunny shots were a little weird.
Yeah,
like the opening scenes.
Yeah, so there's a little clear. Again, small nitpicks.
Right.
And again, at times, I think you guys might agree with me, the music just didn't seem to fit the scene.
I mentioned that.
Yeah, so honestly, those are my two big gripes about it. Obviously, the camera's nothing Deborah can do about it. That's the equipment they had. And then she did a fine job. So, yeah, gore was good for what we had. The gore was good. I didn't mind the twist. And it was fun. And it was fun seeing all the alumni come back and play themselves. It was just giddy. I mean, I got giddy seeing the convention scene because it's, that's my thing. I got real giddy watching that. I think I'm going to give 13 Fanboy fuck, I hate this because I'm still tossing. I'm going to give it a 6.5.
Ooh.
To me, that is not a bad score. I think that's a very fair score.
Okay. All right. Overall, I thought the acting was fairly well done. There were a couple of slips, among some actors. I may have tried to get a couple of more takes on those shots. If I was directing, maybe there was a reason they didn't. Maybe there was a reason they liked those takes. I don't know.
Or couldn't.
Yeah. Like I said, it's just it's a fun movie.
Yeah.
I had fun with this movie. I laughed at the right spots. I kind of, at the right spots. Yeah, it was a fun watch. I think upon multiple viewings, this will stay about the same kind of experience for me. A lot of movies will drop in value as you watch them more, or sometimes in some people's aspects, they'll raise in value. I think this one will stay about the same. The directing and sets and cinematography were all fairly good. I do agree with Colonel's points about some of the outdoor shots and some of the bright shots just being too crystal, too perfect. It just led to too much brightness in those scenes for me. But again, there were some nitpicks that I had with the editing, which we talked about. There were some nitpicks with the music, which we talked about, which Colonel also mentioned. But overall, it's a fun fucking movie. And if you go for the ride, you're going to have a fun ride. And if you're trying to figure out who the killer is, which is what they want you to do, you're going to have fun with that too. Because like we mentioned, there's a lot of fucking suspects. But it's not a perfect movie. But so far, based on what we've gotten this year, this is one of the better ones. And I'm going to give it a 7.5. So, Colonel said a minute ago, there are no perfect movies. He walked that back and said there are a handful. The only movie that so far that I've given like a perfect score on this show has been Dr. Sleep. And is this Dr. Sleep quality? No. Was it even supposed to be? No. I mean, it's not that. It's a slasher compared to a literary psychological thriller sequel, whatever you want to call it, by arguably one of the greatest horror writers of all time. So, can you compare the two? Not really. They're not in the same boat. Would I like to see a sequel? Fuck yeah.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely, I do. I absolutely want to see a sequel, and I want to see Haley come back. Where'd I go? Am I still there?
You're still there.
Okay. I want to see Haley come back. I want to see all the surviving characters come back, and even some of the characters that we might not think are survivors. But I think it'd be fun as hell to do another one. So 7.5 for me. So 6.5, 7, and a 7.5. So even 7.
Nice.
Average for 13 Fanboy. That's not bad.
That's our scores. Chucky, what'd you think? Charlie, Emilio? Okay, Johnny Knoxville.
Oklahoma! Oh, my ass meat!
How about Jewel?
Again, I dare you. I double dare you, motherfucker. Say one more goddamn time.
Well, I think it's unanimous. It's a good watch. Go see it.
Absolutely. Any other? A couple more rankings here. Stacy gave us hers. Orlando says going up to a 9 for him. All right, fair enough. And Luke says 2.8 out of 5. It's climbing, but will probably land on a 3 out of 5. So that's about a 6.
That's fair
in our ranking scale. So
yeah, that's fair.
S. Michael says great review, DCS, fair criticisms, and just as fair praises. Yeah, thanks, man. Thank you, and thank you, by the way, S. Michael, for upping your subscription to a Final Guy. We appreciate that. And
even getting the early dirt on 13 Fanboy back at Whorehound when we were there.
Yeah,
right?
And I love the fact that he didn't tell us a goddamn thing. I mean, we didn't ask, but nothing.
Like I said last week, if you got a secret, you tell us, Michael, because that shit ain't going out anywhere.
That's right. All right, gang, that is going to wrap it up for us tonight, I believe. So, one last time, let me say thanks to our final guys and gals. Corey, Chris, Lorena, Christy, Luke, S. Michael, Patricia, Tanya, and Tyrone. And also thanks to our Crazy Ralphs, Angelo and Peter, and then our camp counselors, Stacy Lynn, Kiara, and Dave. Thank you guys for helping the support society. And check out deathcursesociety.com to figure out how you can support the society, whether in our shop, whether in as a member. It's all on the website. Check it out and let us know.
Last week to get your purchases in for that Daniel Harris autograph, baby.
That's right. We got the Daniel Harris.
You don't want to get it sticky.
That's true.
Well, too late.
We're
I
giving this away.
already said I'd give it a Windex and a squeege before I mail it, so it'll be fine. See you in a minute, Daniel.
All right. Carrie says,
You can do better.
hubby and I give it an 8 out of 10. Thank you, Carrie. And Tony says, appreciate all the feedback from all the listeners. Thank you for the reviewing. Thank you, Tony, for tuning in. And yeah, thank you for joining. And like I mentioned, it was great to meet you last week. Can't wait to chat with you again sometime. So, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for tuning in. Appreciate it. Next week, what are we doing? Do we know?
Day after Halloween.
That's right. We're giving away.
Yeah.
We're giving away the Danielle Harris thing that night. And, there it is. Top 5 of 1976.
Shit.
Good God, that's going to be a bitch.
Really?
That's what's on the list.
Oh. I haven't even looked yet. See. Didn't Jaws come out in like 76?
No.
No?
No.
So just making space for a reason.
Yeah. We may have to change that, but that's what's on the schedule. We may have to look at that. But thanks for tuning in, everybody. Hope you have a great week, and we'll see you here next week. So until then, Colonel, what do you say?
Don't get sick. Wash your dick. And don't smell like a Scuba Steve. Use Summer's Eve.
That's right. Have a good night, guys. We'll see you next time.
Happy Halloween.
Woo! Woo! Happy Halloween.
Rock and roll! Just in the middle of a dream, I was kissing Valentino by a crystal blue Italian stream. But I can't be late, 'cause then I guess I just won't get paid. These are the days when you wish your bed was already made. It's just another manic Monday. It was Sunday, 'cause that's my fun day. I don't have to run late. It's just another manic Monday. I wish it was Sunday, 'cause that's my fun day. It's just another manic Monday.
Oh, wait.